So hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So in the last video we learned to contribute to open source projects by first of all forking them and cloning them in your local machine. So in this video we will continue our GitHub series, and in this video we will just create a PR. We will land a PR to one of the major open source organizations, since we were working with Flutter in another series. So we should contribute to Flutter organization because it's also an open source organization. So we will contribute to one of the repository which we have of Flutter organization, that is known as Flutter Simples. So let me just show you the Flutter Simples repository on GitHub so that you can have a good idea about it. So if you want to know more about Flutter, then you can just watch my Flutter series. So that's really good from beginner to intermediate level, because I never say that I'll take you to expert, because for that you have to work. Okay, so here is this Flutter samples repository. So if you find some repositories really good, so you can just star them. So it doesn't help the main Flutter organization in the number of they didn't get paid for this, but still if you star a repository, then it would be a good motivation for the contributors and the maintainers. So what you have to do, so first of all you can see what Flutter samples is. Let me elaborate about that. So Flutter samples is basically a collection of open source samples which are developed on Flutter to show best practices of Flutter. Basically, like for example, you want to learn provider in Flutter. So provider is a way to manage your state in Flutter. So, but after reading the documentation, you have maybe implemented provider, but you don't know what is the best way and what is the best practice to implement that, so that the code will become scalable and a lot of people can contribute to it all together. So that's why we should consider these samples, including the Flutter samples, which are maintained by people working at Google right now. So these are the authorized samples, and we also have a visual samples index in which you can just go through these samples by their images, and if you find some sample interesting, so you can do that. Another example of Flutter sample is the animations example, to which we will contribute in this video. So in the animation section, like most of the people struggle with animations in Flutter because some people find it fascinating, but some people struggle like how it's going to work. So for that they have a folder. These are the couple of samples they have. So there is a folder called animations. So in this particular folder they have added a lot of animations, from like the basic drag drop animation, the animated container, animated padding. So they have added almost all of the types of animation: card swipe, carousel. So they have all types of animations in different folders. So you could just clone this and just try to run it, and if you see the code, so the code is really in a good quality and it's maintained really good. So after like a short instructions about the Flutter samples, so let's see its contributing guidelines. So why I know how to contribute to this Flutter samples repository, but I am demonstrating to how to contribute to any GitHub project you find interesting. So if you want to contribute, you just have to read the README file, and there is a section always that is interested in contributing. Yes, I am. So you have to read the contributors guide. So when you tap on it, so it will redirect you to another repository, that is another README file, that is contributing.md. So in this section, they will teach you about like is this the right place for your contribution. There are also other ways through which you can contribute, and so how to contribute. Basically, you have to first file an issue. For example, I want to contribute something. I want to add like a few lines of code. So you should create an issue first, like this was the problem, or this was the improvement required. Even for the improvement, like this was the improvement required which I would like to make. And after that you can just create a pull request in tagging that issue, that this issue I am solving. So this is the way that others could know like what you are solving. So before working on the issue, or before working on something, you could have a pre-discussion in the issue only. So that's what the purpose of it. You have to sign the license agreement by Google. So this work will be done automatically when you create a PR. So that's not a big deal. So after that, you are basically rules you have to follow. You should be on the stable branch, because Flutter have different like beta and the different branches. So for that you have to be on the stable branch, and if you have not worked on Flutter web or desktop, so you are already on the stable branch, I guess. So rather than that, you should run Flutter formats to make all the files formatted properly. And you should like, if you want to add a test, that what we are going to do, so you should include a working test in this test folder. So if you want to create a new app, these are the guidelines for that. Okay, so for if you want to your code to be reviewed, or when you create a pull request, you may want to tag a contributor so that they can review and suggest you some changes if required. So these are the contributors, Andrew Broadgun, John Pry, and also Domestic Mouse is the handle name, and these are the people are the main contributors to this, or the main I guess the main members of this. Okay, so you have to add this. So after going through this readme file, which could be different for different organizations, you are ready to contribute to it. So for that, let us go back to Flutter samples basically. uh, this is the Flutter samples. So for contributing to it, you must fork it. So when you fork it, you will create a copy of that on your profile. Since I already have that, I don't want to make another one, so I'll not fork it again. After forking, basically let me go back to my copy of that, which is on my profile. So this is my profile. If you want to check it out, you can do it. Okay, so the weather app which we are making in our Flutter series is hosted on this profile. Okay, so I'll just write, go to the repositories section. So in that repositories section, here's the samples. So this is basically the sample which is on my repository. What I'm going to do, I'll just download the code and I'll clone this. This is the URL to copy. So I'll just copy it. Now GitHub CLI is also introduced. If you want to try that, you can do that also. So after doing this thing, what you have to do is you have to go back. You have to go back to your desktop, and in the desktop you have to open the git bash, or if you want some at some other place you want to hold this project, and you can do that. And you have to write git clone and shift insert to add this. And so when you just press enter, it will automatically clone that samples at your desktop. It will take a couple of seconds, and there are a lot of Flutter projects coupled in a single repository, so it takes time to download all of them. So once it's downloaded, like since I already have it, I'll not continue with this thing. So once it's downloaded, you could find that on a samples folder on your desktop. Okay, so let's get started. So I have that in my Flutter folder and in my open source folder. So here's the samples folder. So I got all of them. So if I want to like work on a particular, so let's say I want to add something to the animations. So that's not how I'll do it. First of all, what I do is I'll just go here and click on the main repository, and I'll just click on the issues and try to find out if there is an open issue to which I can contribute. So there's an open issue to add title property, and since there are already two pull requests ready up for this issue, so I'll not contribute to it. So so here's this issue that is for again animations, and you have to improve unit or widget tests in the app. So go through all those chats so that you got all the context for that particular issue, since I already have that. So what they are asking in this particular like issue is that we have our animations application. So we want a bit of the changes, like we want some test widget tests to test the animations. So if you have a bit idea of Flutter, then you may know about animations and testing. So this is what they are requesting us to do in this issue. So I would like to add another test for a particular animation that is animated positioned. So I'll do that in this video. So I'll not show you how to write the code in Flutter. I'll not explain that part because that is already done on my playlist, and I'm also up to for that. So here is this folder. So what I'll go do is I'll go open it in my Visual Studio Code. So just to remind, this is my forked repository. So all the changes I make will be when I push will be on my just on my profile. That will not be edited on that. For that I'll make a PR. So after that, since you know like you are working on a project where a lot of people are working together, so I'll not recommend you to work directly on the master because you want the master to be synced with the main repository. Getting my point? Because imagine you have a copy of your application and another copy from which you have copied is the Flutter samples. So someone else has also opened a pull request that changes something in that Flutter master, the samples, the main copy. And when you also try to change that, your local copy will be outdated. So if you want to make sync between both of them, you should not directly contribute to the master. You should create your own branch and do some changes, and that's how it works. So that's what we are going to do. I'm going to create a new branch which is different than a master. So I'll write this command, that is git checkout -b, to create a new branch, and I'll add a name of the branch is similar to like animation tests. Okay, so I use this command. Now I am already switched to my new branch, which is currently local. So if I just check on my GitHub, so I'll not be able to find this branch because it's currently just on my device. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna make some changes. So for example, the changes which I want to make lies here. So I'll just click on here. I'll add another file that is animated positioned test.dart. So I've added another file. Now I'll write some code to it. Just a second. So I have written all the code required for this change which I want to make. So this is the code. So after doing this, what I need to do is I need to commit this code. So what I'll do, just I'll say git status. So here I could say there are a few files also changed which I don't want to alter. So I'll just add a particular file, that is git add test slash misc slash animated positioned test.dart, right? So this is added. Now I'll again check git status. So I got the new file staged. So what I'll do, I'll just say git commit -m, and in this I'll add a commit message like added test for animated positioned animation. Okay, so I've added the test. Now this is done. So now what I have to do is I need to just make this git push. So it says the branch is currently at just on the local, it's not on the mainstream. So if you want to do that, you have to write this command git push -- set upstream origin animation test. Okay, animations test. So now this change and this commit would be made on the forked repository that I have. Still, these changes are not made on the repository which I have created. So after this thing, I'll go back to this GitHub, and I'll open my forked repository, that is this // samples. So here in the branch section, I can see that there is the branch animations test which I have created, and I can see that this branch is one commit ahead, and I got the commit pushed on my forked repository. So to create a pull request, you can see there's a big button here. So sometimes this yellow box doesn't pop if you open after some time. So you can just choose from this section. So create on the pull request section, and when you create the pull request, it will automatically select the base and the origin. So after this thing, like this shows you out, so you have to add some code so that you have not the code, you have to add some description about what changes you have made. You have to refer to the issue using the markdown you add. So I'll add just a 3-line markdown to clear it, like what changes I have made. So for that, I'll say description. In the description, I'll say adds a widget test for animated position. So to add in a code box, I'll just say this characters around it, and after that I'll say this is in regard to issue and hash. So I'll select the issue, which is 399, I guess. So yeah, this is the issue. So I'll just tap on it. So this issue is selected. So that's all I want to add. Now I can just preview it. So this is how the markdown looks, and now I have to just add tap on this create pull request button, so I can also see the changes which I have made. So this is the change. Basically I have added a new file, so I have to just click on create pull request. So that's how it basically works. So let's just see what happens next. So you can see that this is my pull request which I have created. So first of all, I have created this pull request, and I have added a few things like I got the review from one of the contributor, and that is Andrew Brodgan, who is the maintainer of this repository. So he made this change, that one minor change is requested. Thanks for adding a test. So the newcomers are always welcomed. So they say these comments are great, but each should begin with a capital letter and end with a period. So this thing I missed in the reading while reading the documentation, that is contributing.md. So in that they have clearly mentioned that all the comments should start with a capital letter and should end with a period. So I have made the changes so that now next time don't have to create a new pull request. Whenever I push a commit on my forked repository, mark my words, please listen it clearly. Whenever I make a new commit to the forked repository in the same branch, that will automatically added to the pull request created. So I have this commit automatically added to the pull request, so it's automatically gets updated. So after this, like I said, that I have made the necessary changes required. So now you can just review it again. And there are also some like if you contribute to big projects, then there will be checks if you have formatted the files correctly, because not all the time the reviewer or the maintainer would just go and check if you have formatted the files. So these bots and these checks which automatically verifies that you have formatted the file. This includes Travis CI and a lot of things. So you have also signed the CLAs. So that's how it works. Now they just review the code again, and if they found like it's worthy enough to merge, they will merge this. So this is how you create a pull request, and have also elaborated that why we should create a branch and what's its real implementation. So my branch is still synced to the master, which the main repository is, and I have added some extra code to this. For example, in future, this because of some issue, this doesn't get merged to the master branch. So at that time, I don't have to just delete my samples repository on my profile and again forget. What I can do, I have my master synced with the main repository, so I'll just create another branch to add another feature. I don't have to wait for this feature to get merged. So this is the profit, or this is the benefit of creating branch and using the branch system. Getting my point? So that's how it all works. So if you still have some doubts around it and you think I want a bit clarification on this, I think so you could just add that in the comment section. But if you want a bit faster reply, you could join the Telegram group, which I already mentioned in the link in the description. So that's how it works. So I think this is the second last video of this GitHub series. So I think that's all we have covered, how to contribute to open source projects, and we have already contributed to one of the major open source projects. So I think that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I surely catch you in my next video.